Welcome back to the studio. I am again making a complete pigsty, but who cares, right? So I'm just going to give the table a quick brush down. Because we are almost officially done crafting, but we're now at the point where you have to start painting. But before I start that, I am going to be getting rid of all the spider webs, because I don't know if they show up on camera or not, but where I've been using hot glue, it just leaves a trail from the hot glue gun to the thing, and that is not pretty, to put it mildly. So what I need to do is get all of the things that I've made so far and just run the hot glue gun over them, and then just get rid of all of I mean, if you can see it there, you've got all of this stuff. I don't think it's showing up, but basically if you used a hot glue gun, you know what I mean. We refer to them as spider webs because they just look like spider webs. But because they're all hot glue, you just blow hot air over them and they just disintegrate and melt into the surface. And I'm not that worried once they've melted into the surface. Again, now, if you let it get too hot, because this whole thing's held together with hot glue, the whole prop falls apart. So you got to be careful. You got to give it a quick once over like this. Just get rid of all the spider webs like that, so they're all gone and have fallen off. And then that's it. Again, try not to burn the foam because, you know, bad gases and the like. Okay, and one last quick run over this, over the whole Fatman. Okay, that's all of them done. I definitely left it on there for too long. I'm not talking large amounts of bad gases here, it's quite small, but still 100% more than I wanted. if I was sensible, I would control the amounts that that has. But okay. And that banging noise was me opening the door, so I can let air in. So, give me a sec. Sorry, I had to set up a bit of a draft there to get the air cycling. I've had unfortunate accidents with this stuff in the past, and do not want to repeat such things, obviously. Room full of bad gases is something you only want to experience once in your life. And you don't want to experience it that once. So, now the first thing I've got to paint is the dial that goes here. So let's get a preference. It's going to be the first or last? First. Oh wow, okay, this... So the dial literally runs on PSI, and it's basically got a white V down there. Then up to about there is green, there is yellow. So it's yellow, green, that and white, with a dial in the middle. Oh wow, that is very basic. I was expecting, my previous one I did much nicer than that. I followed the Fallout free pan. So, here he comes. What New Generations does to you, eh? Oh, I forgot to fill up the thing, didn't I? Okay, so I can't go all the way out. Because that has to go on top in that kind of manner. Yeah, I forgot to get my paint or my cleany thing. Whoops. To be fair, when I had the difficulty before with the sorry, that's when I had the difficulty before from overheating foam, it literally took 2 to 3 hours of doing it continuously to be a problem. So, but if you're at the point where it's a problem, that's really, really bad. Okay, so let's get a green. Wow, that's a lot of green being transferred on. Okay, by the look of it, that's not going to work, which is weird, but I'm going to have to start off, do the whole thing white, and then paint underneath, by the look of it, which, fair enough. Do I have a little bit of cloth or something? Hey. Oh, no, notice enough bit of paint on this table. Okay, so let's do the entire undercoat white first, because that's sort of necessary. So that's going to be a bit of a problem later. I'll deal with it when I get there. But this is the only part I have to paint now, which means that while I'm waiting for that little bit of white to dry, and it's literally the back of the dial that I'm waiting for it to dry. Okay, yep, you've been on long enough. Don't want it to get too cold in here. And the rest of this, I need to seal this as a whole prop, as well as this, this, and this, which is going to take the lion's share of this. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of masking. So if I put this here, and then where's the tape? Just put that down in that gap, like that. Then you down in there. Goes like second up, we come here, get that. So if our first bit is there, this bit is here. I'm putting that in to keep those sections clear for when it comes to gluing it in at the end. Because we don't want to be gluing onto paint. And put that there. Don't forget to tape over the bottom of this. Good. Don't forget to tape over that. Like here. Of course, these pegs are never going to be seen, so it doesn't matter if they're not painted. To be fair, there's a lot of this that isn't going to be seen. It doesn't matter if it gets painted or not, but I mean, I will know. And that is enough to bother me. Okay, so just fold a little tab over on the end so it's easy to remove. Turns out I seem to have put these exactly where the thing ended up, which is amazing. I didn't think I could do that, but apparently I made it. So. Okay, so that will do. And this one isn't getting stuck on, so we don't really care. Yeah. Okay, you dry? No, it's not dry. I try not to speed it along. It does make a bit of a mess, and you don't want to make much of a mess doing this kind of thing. Right, so full sealing. I go with this stuff, which is PVA glue. It's better than my old PVA glue because it no longer has like toxic stuff in it. This one was made specifically for children to use. Now this just seals up the foam, stops the paint from becoming a mess, and I don't know, also gives it a nice gloss finish, which is all nice. And this is the brush that I use for it, which I once showed an artist this brush. I wasn't exactly big friends with the artist in the first place, but we definitely aren't friends now. Like, how do you let your brush get in that condition? I'm just like, well, you know, you do paper mache of it for several years, and it's that level of chaos. It's all good. Now, there are disadvantages to using this, because if you just put thick PVA on the outside, it does make a nice like plastic coat on it, which is why this is good. But if you try to like bend it a lot after you've done this, it well, it just tears straight through the foam and wrecks the whole thing, like straight away. Because this is basically child's craft glue. That's what it was made for. Now I have a feeling that this stuff is way too thick. And I am putting it on way too thick, which isn't helping. So the thing I didn't think about before starting this one, how exactly do I intend to, you know, handle it and where to put it once all this stuff's dried on it. Okay, and that's that done. I haven't done the top ring yet because I intend to move it. It's basically painting this that's going to be the hard bit, because there's so much of it. Yeah, there you go. As I said before, that project's not that difficult. Okay, fine. For my level of experience, that's not difficult, but I mean, it depends how much detail you want out of it, how hard it is. Thanks for the compliments on the work, but this is because I've been doing this since 2015. My first work was pretty awful. It's a lot of practice and a lot of getting better that has done this. Yeah. Damn it. Also, I would not advise doing this with paint, like, ever. Let it dry on its own, and, you know, over time. But because I'm streaming, I am, well, speeding it along, but you shouldn't really do it. Also, the heat gun is now set to minimum, so it should not really do any damage to any of the foamwork or burn anything. So it's about 50 degrees Celsius it's set to. Okay, that's about the temperature of a hairdryer now. There you go. Okay. So yeah, this thing will burn foam and burn people, but also can be set down to a point where it is basically can be used as a hairdryer. I love adjustable heat, eh? Need to get some yellow and some red. It's enough, I hope. No, there's far too much yellow. So it's yellow and a little bit of red. Go there. Nice bit of red. Okay. There is one dial. It doesn't look perfect, but the bad sections of it are going to be covered over, and I don't care. The I don't care bit's really important. Let's give that a little bit to dry. Just finish off. Bring that there. Let me go retrieve some black paint because one of us wasn't paying attention. It was me. Black paint. Some. What I've learnt over the years, you've got to be really careful with black paint. Really strong, really difficult colour to remove once it's in. To be fair, a lot more came out of it than I expected. Usually I'd do this once the stream's over, but as I'm waiting for paint to dry, it's literally the option is this or wait for paint or watch paint dry. I mean, I don't know yet, but I don't think I'm at the point where I can just put up a stream of paint drying and people will watch. Ah, come on, get off. Okay, fine. We're not salvaging any green then. Or white. Oh well. Not like it. Hopefully that's all dried by now. It looks like it has, so... Where's my finish? So I've got to use my finish brush for this. And a little bit of black in the center. Now, if we bring back up the reference picture, now, admittedly, that is a very bad ass. But there's a lump right on the thing. It's also taken up about 50% of the tile, which is annoying, but I have very little control over. Put a little bit more paint. That one went on sideways. It's not your viewfinder, it's a pressure gauge. Surprisingly. For literally a bit that goes under there like that, it doesn't look that bad. That S just looks atrocious though. Okay, so it ends up like that. Wow, okay. There you go. I did not realize how high up I'd have to carry the Fatman when I did that. Okay, nothing that's dangerous was dropped. It's not perfect, but nobody is ever really going to see what's down there. So realistically, I don't need to do any of that. Now with today's, I don't know how long the stream's going to be, and with all the painting ones, I have no idea, because it really is a case of like however long it takes me to do the painting. But that's the way painting streams always are. It's Ah! Right. So yeah, I always try to salvage as much as I can when I do that, because I have to pay for the paint. In short. I think I might have to thin this down a little bit to do it properly, because it's going on real thick. I mean, I can see me ending up with a real brushstroke texture at the end of this, and I don't want that. But I'm going to carry on in a minute. Even if it ends up not perfect, I mean, the amount of people who are going to see this and look at it and go, that's not painted perfect, and actually tell me about it, are jerks. You can go over here as well. You're still not up to temperature, so we're all good. That doesn't need to be here right now, and yeah. So come around here, paint that, get around here. So if we just paint down here and go around there. paint around here and down there. And on the bottom. A bit more like that. Oop, trying to get my finger in the glue there, that's not the best. I was like, if anyone asks, I'm just going to say it's brushed steel. Yeah, I will let you know the difference. Mind of a cosplayer making props. Part 1. Oh crap, I made a mistake. Part 2. Can I fix the mistake? If yes, fix it. If no, make an excuse. Like, your mini nuke doesn't look right. Well, it's a prototype, isn't it? So they didn't have the shape set down in stone yet. Okay. Now there's the moment to be brave. Okay, and yep. Okay, that is touching the ceiling. I cannot go any higher. Okay, and that's literally the last of the building. It is now ready to be coated and painted because it's going to take some time. See, my experience, this stuff takes ages to dry, so this might not be like I painted all today, or coated all today. Wow, it's going to take some time if I have to do that. I'm not entirely sure this is what they intended this glue for. Oh well, I'm not too sure I've used anything here for what it was ever intended for. Whoop! Do not knock that over. Yeah, I think it would have been better if I'd done the front the same way I did back here. But it's too late to correct now, just thoughts for the future. Like, this back section's fine, there was no reason to change the technique to when I went to the front. Oh well. This is where some of my earlier, well, that'll do things become a problem, because that grip at the back is not strong enough for this. Also, I'm not painting any of the undercarriage yet, because I intend to use the undercarriage to grip the thing like I am now for as long as possible. So I can spend some time explaining how this is going to work. So this is the first coat, which is just a sealant to seal the foam, so it doesn't just absorb water. The second air gets near it and the paint goes on better. The second coat is going to be a complete layer of underseal, or not underseal, but basically the thing is going to get painted entirely in one colour, which is grey. The reason it's grey is because this is all metal, so I want it to have a basic silvery finish underneath. Then once I've done that layer, I then have to go and paint on anything that isn't grey or isn't silvery grey, because as anyone who's seen this thing in the game will know it's very much going to, or very much is not entirely grey, just most of it is like gunmetal. So it's not going to be that much work, but it's going to be nice. Yeah. So the problem with sticking glue across the whole thing is that basically all of these bits that protrude at the bottom, which I'm painting with glue, are also sticking out the bottom still once we're done. So essentially if I glue them, they'll glue themselves to the table and then we're in trouble. Again, I think this will take a few days to dry, which is not the best. Just come here, paint over that. So what I'm going to do is rest it on the tank and side rail for as long as I can. Then just sort of go around like this. Get as much of the bottom as I can in one go. Then next time we come round and grab the other side. But this is going to look like very slow progress over the next like few shows. So the progress pictures are going to be interesting because people are just going to look at them and go, you haven't done anything. It's like, oh, yeah, it just doesn't look like it, because oh, whoop, crap. We are definitely starting to get to the point where I'm starting to get touched by the glue now. Which of course you have to remember that if the glue's touching me, it's coming off, which means that we're not getting proper coverage anymore. table. I mean, it's going to be resting on the rail and the tank, so I can do this entire side, and we should be okay. Okay, and that is actually all I can do for today. Unfortunately, I think I've got everything. So yeah, these painting streams can be relatively short compared to the full ones, but again, you gotta wait for the paint to dry. There is nothing you can really do about that. So not to do it, I will break the normal schedule. I will be back in 2 days again to continue the painting and hopefully see you then. So thanks for coming, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.